Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. We got Harley Ingleby with us. Harley, welcome.
Thanks.
And we are talking about the Harley Ingleby HI4. I've got the 9.1. Harley's got the 9.3. Harley, take it away.
Yeah, the HI4, it's not my newest longboard in my range, but it is still my absolute go-to for small, pockety beach breaks. It works great in points and everything as well, but where this model shines over, say, the Diamond Drive or the HI/HP Speed is it's a wider, curvier board. It's got more looseness, having the more curve between the feet. The width, obviously, is going to get you up and get you going nice and easy. It's got the true HI/HP rocker and a big nose. So of my range, it's far and away the most comfortable and easy to approach the nose on, particularly the 9.3. It's like for a performance longboard, it's really a really good board to learn to walk on and very forgiving. For me, it's just a super good small wave performance longboard. It's obviously going to handle overhead waves if that's what you've got. Yeah, it's just a really fun, really easy, really forgiving surfboard.
This has been a popular longboard for a lot of surfers.
Yeah.
From people getting it like for their first performance longboard, like, you know, coming off of soft tops, all the way up to people like ripping on it and surfing it really well. Personally, I have a 9.3 that I will never let go of. It's a 9.3 black. What really impressed me about that board is typically like something that's as performance as that board, you need a good wave for it to work.
Yeah.
For me anyway, at like above 200 pounds, it would take chest high and better to actually make the board feel good.
Yeah.
But even in like micro surf, like the board surfed really, really well.
Yeah.
The turning, like with that Thunderbolt black construction, loading it up and releasing it out of the turns is crazy fun.
Yeah.
It has a whole life that other longboards don't have. There's a lot of boards you could nose ride. Like I feel like this one helps you nose ride better in the 9.3.
Obviously it's not going to nose ride as well as a 9.6 single fin with soft rails all the way to the tail and with tail flip, but for the type of board and the way you can surf it from the tail and how light it is very comfortable and easy to nose ride for sure.
And what the other thing I noticed is, you know, typically in a board that turns this well and performs like this, bigger guys like me are going like up to like a 9.4 or a 9.6.
Yeah.
And so I've had some people question me like, oh, like is 9.3 big enough?
Yeah.
And while it's not super high volume, it does have a lot of area and a lot of like efficient area that is really helping you in small waves and projecting you out of the turns. I never really wanted more than the 9.3 when I was surfing it.
We really did work on this design. It's the 4, because essentially I started off with the HI/HP. This is essentially the 4th version of that. The HI/HP was designed for where the World Longboard Tour was at when that board was designed. Fast forward a bunch of years, different locations, criteria is changing, things like that. This was very much just trying to make the best board I could make for where the tour was at the time. Billy doesn't make boards that are like hard to ride or like super specific. Like everything he does is really versatile. It's a board that I could literally teach someone to surf on or compete at a world event on. You know, it's that versatile of a longboard. Stoked to be able to introduce some color and different finishes to it now. Before we just had the matte white carbon and the matte white Thunderbolt red. In the colors, we've got some gloss and polish with the orange and light blue. Yeah. We still offer a matte white and we offer a matte finish in the carbons as well.
Right.
So yeah, just a few more options, same great board.
You always do a great job pairing up your boards with a specific fin set. Like what do you recommend on the HI4s as far as finning it up?
Either my XXL tri set or quad set. This model really is one that will work great both ways. I probably ride it mostly with my tri set, to be honest. You get that little bit more pivot and whip with the tri set and probably a little bit better nose riding, particularly if you're nose riding with the tail deep in the pocket.
Yeah.
The quads still nose ride well, but they're more of a trimming kind of nose ride out on the face a bit more. It's more comfortable. Guys like my dad and like a lot of guys who maybe come from more of, they're not trying to surf it so whippy and tight in the pocket and trying to do vertical wrenches or anything. Yeah, like guys like my dad, he just like quad all day long. Like just that extra speed, as always with the quads, extra hold, and just those longer, faster lines. That for him is just, you know, what excites him when he rides this board. And a lot of other people, like I've had feedback both ways, and I've obviously ridden it quite a bunch as well. In the right kinds of waves, I would go that way, but more often than not, I will ride it with my tri.
You're calling it a tri, and FCS calls it a tri as well, right? But it's a little bit...
2+1.
Little bit, like back fin is a little bit bigger than the fronts,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, I think the sides are about 5 1/4, and the rears are 5.5 inch. And obviously a totally different template and a lot more bass and size in the longboard center. It does doesn't matter what size of surfer, I would still recommend that set, quad or tri. People can do whatever if they put the center in and put it wherever they feel works best for them, but there's a spread that Bill and I have used and I've sort of shared with other team riders and other people, and it really, really works well in our boards. If you're trying to find where I put my center fin, it's basically if you were to put the quad rears in or put some side fins in the back and to draw a straight line across where the trailing edge touches, that's where I would also put my center fin.
Your trailing edge of your center fin?
Yeah, okay. And I'll often just put some fins in the back, put a ruler up against the trailing edge, just put a little pencil line on the fin box, and that's if I was going to switch to the tri, that's where I would put my center fin. It's a good baseline for anyone for sure.
With that FCS Connect system, right, that toolless system, are you adjusting the positioning on that back fin ever or no?
Not anymore, no. I've ridden that spread in many different types of different waves, and I just find that it works in everything. If it's just knee-high slop or triple overhead waves, that spread in our boards, it just works really well.
That's what works well.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not going to tell someone what does or doesn't work if they want to move it up or back, but for me, it does everything.
Let's talk about constructions. I am holding right here a red. You're also holding a red.
Correct.
This board's also available in black, and those are laminations, right? Those are not color.
Yes.
Red lamination.
Fiberglass.
Fiberglass. Who's it for?
It's for everyone, particularly like say this board being sort of pushed towards being an all-round small wave performance longboard. I would say the red is for most people going to be the go, and that's what I have, both the 9.1 and 9.3 in a red. Just the easier flex, in weak waves I can really get the thing popping. This model specifically, it's just got such a go to it. But like you said, you're riding the black, you're probably a little touch heavier than me. Still works insanely good in all size waves.
Yeah.
The black just has that little bit more pop off the lip, probably a little quicker, obviously a tiny bit stronger. Strength to weight ratio is up a touch with the carbon lamination. They both work in everything, but I would typically say that the red's going to be enough for most people, and definitely for lighter people, I'd steer them toward the red. Black will work for everyone as well. It's just going to be a little stiffer under feet.
Okay, awesome. Harley, thank you so much for sharing feedback on the Harley Ingleby HI4. If any of you out there have any questions on the HI4 or would like to order one, you can always reach us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.